confirming whether or not this is actually gonna work. Shut up! Like, you're still, like, no. Switch games. I was gonna do Life is Strange 2 title screen, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna work, so I had to do the cap of the price.
Yo.
My cats are fighting each other now.
Yes.
Great, this is a wonderful time, yep. Everything is right with the world. So yes, this is the beginning of January, I think I mentioned it. Which is now the beginning of February, which is literally a whole month. So yeah, I am going to play Life is Strange 2 episode 2 I think tomorrow. I just wanted to really do the podcast because I was like I was itching to finally talk about all the stuffs that happened. So yeah. But also in advance, spoiler warning, very major spoiler warning. This is going to talk about literally like the episode and the 2 issues of the Life is Strange comic that happened recently. Also, apparently, supposedly the 4th issue is supposed to come out, I think, the 24th of this month. So, we shall see.
Really?
Not 24th, 27th.
Really?
Yeah.
27th of this month.
Correct. Supposedly, I say. I saw that somewhere. I won't. Once again, don't quote me on this. But supposedly, it's supposed to come out this month on the 27th. Why do you sound so triggered by that? You sound so ticked off. Like, really? Are they now?
I just wanted to go ahead and take their time with it and release it over a couple months. You know, because you never know how many issues are going to be out.
Hey, the issue, they had a double issue.
It's just 5.
They had a double issue in January, and it was fine. That issue. The 3rd one, at least. I thought that was soon.
Yeah, it did.
Which we were going to talk about. However, yeah, that is kind of soon, but, like, most issues for comics always come out at least once a month. Usually. So, I don't know. Start with Life is Strange 2, or do you want to start with, like, the comics?
Let's start with the comics first.
You want to start with the comics? Okay. Well, I guess we're going to do issue 2 first, because that's the first one. At least out of the recent ones that came out. So, with that issue, that was God. I meant to reread some of that one again, but, like, I remember what happened, though. But pretty much, I guess the first question is, what do you think of that issue, the second one? Obviously, that one kind of, oof.
I mean, I liked it, going back to Arcadia Bay and everything, and, you know, seeing the, you know, the rebuilding and seeing the destruction left behind.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great, and, how do I say, Chloe finding out that Max is actually going ahead and in this, alternate universe kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's also trippy as hell. And
it is trippy. It's a roller
then
coaster.
Going back to the house.
My dog scared me, sorry. She jumped at me. Hi, dog.
Hugo. Oh, your dog.
My pupper. Hi, Ziggy. My cat.
Yes, your pepperoni.
My animals are surrounding me.
Aww.
They're full on like surrounding me. It's kind of terrifying but cool at the same time. Hi. Hello. Anyway, continue. Sorry. Nibbing my pupper.
The pupper.
Pupper.
The pepperoni.
Pepperoni. You want a pepperoni?
Anyway, yeah, I found that episode. I found that, comic book, you know, interesting, at least, you know. So, yeah.
Stop almost falling on me. I found it really, a good one. Hi. Stop. I found it interesting. I liked it. I liked that we had, like, you know, like you said, we're able to see Arcadia Bay. We were actually, I liked even more detail that we were able to actually see different universes of what could have been possible. outcomes. You know, like seeing with Dana and her baby, it
Yeah.
was like, oh my. That one was interesting, and I got like a bit emotional with that comic only because the whole fact of like Chloe wanting to see her mom but like couldn't. And it's like, oh, okay, so you're not gonna let her see her own mother. Okay, I see. Okay, you know, to give her a useless character like Dana. No offense, I like Dana, but like in this context, useless. Um, but you can't have her see her own mother. Fine, I see how it is. I see how it is. But it was still kind of like a heartwarming
That's how it
moment.
is.
It was very heartwarming because it was like even still like, you know, we always seen Cliter. That's where that came from.
Wow.
She would tease the life out of me.
Carolyn's grown up. Carolyn's grown up. Glitter.
Coco, you're not helping. Wait a minute, okay?
Never knew you could misspell my name that bad. Oh, now I know. I'm now Clitter. Yeah, just call me Clitter for now on. Okay? Call me Clitter for now on. Cliter Price.
Oh, I can't breathe. Oh god. That is like the worst.
Hey, what's your name? It's Cliter Price. I thought your name was Chloe Price. I know.
It's legally changed.
I'll take this Clitter.
Oh god, I'm snorting. That's oh my god. Oh my god, that's like the worst I've ever botched a name in my life. I feel like. Oh, Chloe Price. All right.
Yeah.
I ruined a sincere moment. This is what happens a lot too. I was gonna talk about like, oh yeah, it's nice.
A serious moment.
I was like, oh, it's nice to see Chloe. You know, it's like it's still heartwarming because most of the time Chloe usually like, you know, is always bitter and everything. But I ruined it. I ruined it. Oh my
I know,
god.
it was a nice moment, you know? It was like, you know, Joyce was there, and I was there, and Matt was there, and then you came along and changed my name for some reason, and now I'm known as Cliter Price. And,
I'm gonna change the title instead of. I'm gonna purposely put like a description that just with no context whatsoever once this is up.
Chloe got a new name change. What is it? Find out in this episode.
Okay, hold on, okay. Alright, hold on, give me a minute. I need a minute. So there's that, and there's that. That's an exclusive comic, everybody. So, okay. Chloe. Usually, we see her usually being bitter and, like, angry toward, you know, her mom sometimes. And seeing her finally kind of, like, you know, loosen up and, you know, finally understand that, you know, she can't, like, just be bitter her whole life about certain things. And so the whole, even if Chloe couldn't say it herself, she made Max, you know, be able to say that she cleared about her a lot and everything, even though obviously can't see. And it's like, that got me really hard. Also, the fact that the storm was most likely caused by Max, I found that interesting that they decided to touch upon that, since I remember me and you at one point, I think, I had a discussion about that, whether or not like the storm was going to come or not, even with or without Max's powers, and I found that interesting that they mentioned it. Because I was like very fascinated by that. I was like, alright, apparently people know certain theories out there that exist, so no, I found that good, and it was a very well written comic. I felt it was I did well. Whoa, did well. What is wrong with me today? Why
Oh
can I not
no,
speak properly? Holy God! Like, Jesus Christ!
because English isn't your first language, it's Jewish.
It's Jewish, yes, it's Hebrew, no.
Oy vey.
Wait,
Oy vey
hey!
much?
Hey, hey! No, no, English is my first language, by the way. It's just even that, I'm not even good at even in that language. Because I can't speak for the life of me sometimes, as you know. Okay. Any other thoughts about the comic before we move on to the third issue?
I liked, like I said, I liked going back to Arcadia Bay because it it was kind of like a closure, you know. You know, getting to see the Two Whales Diner, getting to see, you know, the house as it was, you know, and everything like that, and the repairs going on, and it's like, yeah, it was really interesting, and it was overall a good episode. It was.
Comic? Issue? You mean?
A
You
comic
said
issue, whatever.
You said episode. I mean, I guess it kind of counts if it was a... It could be an episode, I guess, of Life is Strange, technically, but... I'm going off real terms. My nerdy comic book terms that I know because I'm a comic book nerd. Alright, so the third issue. What do you think about that one? The recent one?
It was very interesting. Because we got to see Warren.
That one, yeah, ooh.
Yeah, because we spent more time at the house.
Blackwell, obviously.
We didn't really explore Blackwell all that well, but you could tell it was damaged.
Yeah.
And then what was it? The introduction of the alternate universes.
Yeah, that. The parallel universes, yeah, that.
And the parallel of, you know, what he said about Quantum Leap.
Oof. It's always got a big sign.
Suggesting that Max may be going through 2 realities.
Well, I think it's more
Because of
than
her
one. I
powers.
feel like it's multiple.
Well, yeah.
Because we've seen a lot of we've seen a lot of different versions of Chloe. Actually, I think I might actually do a counter. Because like literally, like even at the beginning, like the subtle changes, I count. So. Yeah. So that's gonna be. But no. But yeah, I think it's multiple like parallel universes like going into like each other and oof, not a good. That's probably damaging some time you know, continuum thing such. So there's that. But yeah, I like the comic. I found it interesting. Oh, I thought you said something.
I have a question.
Oh, you did. Okay.
If she's hopping through all these alternate times or alternate, you know, universes,
See?
won't there be one universe where Mr. Jefferson is still working at Blackwell?
That actually is interesting, and I feel like they touched upon that a tiny bit. I mean, in like, but the opposite sense, where in this one, ooh, by the way, what I'm about to mention, it still gets me like every time. When they had the universe, when Chloe and Max saw the universe with Rachel alive, and they're all together, they talked about how Jefferson, like a year later, I think it's like obviously a year later after the whole thing, and that thing happened to him. Jefferson got arrested because I guess he moved to a different school and got caught doing that shady things, that shady black room stuff. Dark room,
shady
black
business.
room. Jesus. Anyway, black room. I don't know what that room is. I don't know if I want to know.
No, the dark room.
I know. I just call that the dark room stuff, the shady dark room stuff. Um, so, I mean, there could be a universe out there where, like, he never got caught, which is, I think, a disturbing thought, but I'm sure it exists. I don't know if they're ever going to touch upon it. I'm surprised they barely even touched upon Jefferson in general. Like, you think they would, like, I don't know, maybe the next issue we could, but, like, I'm surprised they haven't, like, hardcore, like, put that in, like, somehow, like, make Max more psychologically damaged, you know?
Yeah.
In that regard. But, I don't know. Actually, I do actually have one thing, though, that I wish they might do, that I know they're not going to do in the next issue, but is that, like, have a universe where, like, Max never got out of the dark room, you know, and have Chloe see what happened. That I would like to see, just the reaction, because I feel like that can lead to a lot of interesting, like, a very interesting plot, like, point. Because obviously Max told Chloe what happened, but never probably went into, like, full in detail what happened. And I feel like that could get, like, that can get deep and dark. I know I sound messed up for it, but it's like, I like interesting, like, what if, you know, scenarios, and that would be interesting. But, back to the third issue. Yeah, no, but I like that issue. I like that they, like, there's also a potential fact that there's, like, a scientific-y Max out there, you know, which I find kind of funny to me, because, like, Max is, to me, not scientific-y at all. And yet there's, like, one universe somewhere where she's this. But, like, the whole flicker things, that's what they call it, too. The whole things that she's experiencing. It's very interesting. So, she's a dog.
Yeah.
Hi, Coco. But, yeah, it's, interesting. Any more thoughts upon it? So.
Not really. I like the issue, though.
Mm-hmm. Hi, you dog. Needy. Okay, I think it's time for, not theory time, well, I guess theory, but, like, what do you think is going to happen next? What do we think is going to happen, ultimately? Supposedly, this is supposedly, I don't know, I still am very confused whether or not this is still going to be an ongoing series or not. There's still no thing related talking about that, but supposedly, this is the last issue that's coming up, the fourth one. What do you think might happen? What do you think is going to be the ending outcome?
The fourth one is going to be the last one?
I believe so. I won't swear to it, but, like, some people are saying it's ongoing, some people are saying it's not. I don't know, honestly. I haven't found any information out there whether or not it's officially ongoing. I've seen, like, a thing on, like, one of the websites saying it's going to be ongoing, but, like, I don't know. I don't want to, like, say, hey, this one website said it's ongoing, when it may not be. So, let's put it in the mind of fact, like, if this fourth issue is the last issue, what do you think is going to end? And I'll ask, you know, after that, I'll ask her, what do you think is going to just happen in general? And if it continues on. Word. After that. So.
What I think is going to happen at the end, well, if
it is the end.
If episode 4 is going to be officially the end, the flickers, like, no, I forgot his name.
Warren? Nathan? Oh, okay. Warren, Nathan, who?
Warren. The flickers like Warren described to Max.
Yeah.
Will probably start getting worse.
Agreed.
Not better.
I definitely agree with you on that.
She starts going through different universes.
Ooh.
You know.
Yeah, I could see your
times, and
mm-hmm.
It will probably be too much for her to handle until Chloe comes in and they face it together. You know, they face all of this, you know, together. And find out that them two are kind of connected in some way. Like spiritually and physically.
Yeah.
So that she feeds off of Max feeds off of Chloe. Chloe feeds off of Max. So that it might slow down the flicker effect,
Mm-hmm.
but it won't stop it. She'll keep experiencing, these different universes, but it won't happen at a rapid pace as the last issue, because last issue she'll be going ahead and finding it hard to, move, hard to walk, hard,
Yeah, it's hard to do
to
anything.
think. But with Chloe there, they kind of feed off each other, and it slows down the flicker effect. It doesn't stop it. So that's what I'm thinking might happen if it's the end. But if it's an ongoing thing, the flicker effect will stay at the rate it has been staying. But I really do think they're going to need to get some answers. And I'm thinking that Chloe's going to be there a lot more with Max.
Stuck.
And
Yeah.
when she flickers, because when Max grabs Chloe's hand, and Chloe and Max, they're going to try to piece together this, because it seems that Warren is the only one that kind of knows
Sorry.
what's actually going on with Max.
Sorry. Talk.
It's okay.
Just get the toy! Stop growling at it. Holy Jesus, stop. Okay, sorry. I'm sure you videotaping. This is funny.
Anyway, it seems strange. It seems strange that Warren actually knows who Max is, and that Max isn't, native to his universe. So, a strong possibility that Warren might be joining them as well.
Yeah.
Either that or not. It was just either that or he was a one-shot.
Oof.
Because if he was a one-shot, that would suck. Because
I don't think he's gonna be a one-shot, honestly.
Yeah, he honestly seems to know a lot about Max's, predicament and who she really is, than he lets on. That's why he was talking about this, quantum leap, about leaping from universe to universe until you leap home, because that's how quantum leap ended. But yeah, I don't. I'm thinking we'll see him again in the fourth issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all mine.
Anyway, I kind of have like really interesting thoughts about the next issue. So this is pretty much what I think if it is gonna be the end. I feel like, God, I feel like at some point in time, I feel like Max is gonna meet up with the other Max, the one that has figured out what's happening and what's been going on, and why all of this is happening. I feel like Warren's gonna be there too. I'm having a feeling that Warren's probably gonna be the one somehow, some way, able to like connect the two together, And I feel like they're gonna try to figure out like how and why this is happening, and hopefully, I don't know, fix it. Probably not likely, because that's how Life is Strange works. With Chloe, I have no idea what her fate is. Honest to God, a lot of people are saying, like, a lot of people have theorized that she's gonna die, and I'm like, I don't want that, obviously, so I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. But I don't know. The whole thing with the flicker thing, though, I can kind of see, still happening throughout, and obviously Chloe trying to help manage it more easily for Max to be able to handle. So yeah, it's interesting. If this is going to be an ongoing series, I can still sort of see. I can see this continuing on a little further. Because the problem is, the one issue I'm having right now is I'm having a feeling it's going way too fast for its own good. Like, if this is going to be the fourth issue is going to be the last issue, I feel like hopefully it doesn't end badly, because I feel like they're going way too fast with the whole coming up to the point of why this is happening concept.
I mean,
and how to fix it or whatever.
It really doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense, because for a comic, yes, it is natural to go ahead and release, an episode a month.
Yeah.
But we've already had one issue in December, 2 issues in January.
Well, actually, no, we had one
which
issue in
3.
November, actually.
Oh,
We had
yeah,
one issue in November. December, I think it got delayed.
No, we did it. We did it.
Because it was November
it was
14th
December.
it came out.
Because
No.
December was issue 1.
No, it was it was November 14th.
Oh.
It came out. See, if I remember dates, you know, right?
Okay.
Because I remember specifically being anticipating, and then when I found out it was coming out in January, the second issue coming out in January, I was like not happy about that. But whatever. I think it got delayed. I believe the second issue. I think, if I'm correct, I think it got delayed, and that's why it came out. And I think that's why there's 2 this month. But
so
even still.
So we had issue 1 out in November, issues 2 and 3 out in January, and issue 4 is coming out, well, you're speculating, or you've seen it somewhere, the 27th of this month.
Mm-hmm.
And it should have ended in March, my belief, because it should have been an episode. It should have been a thing in November. I can understand them going ahead and pushing back to January. There should be one in January, the second one in January, the third one in February, and the final one in March, to give us enough time to go ahead and speculate what would happen with, the next issue. But in January, we got 2
The funniest thing is they could have waited like a couple of days, I felt like, to put it out like a February 1st or something, because it was literally the 30th it came out, so they could have waited like 2 days and like put it out in February or something like that, make it at least even-ish, like actually close to a month. Because I think it came out the 2nd, I believe, the second issue, so they could have had like the 3rd issue also on the 2nd of February and make it like a whole month. But, but it just happened to be 2. Also, I feel like they purposely did it.
I think they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they purposely. I'm thinking they purposely did it because of Life is Strange 2, Episode 2 coming out. They wanted to make like 2 episodes in January. That's when the episode comes out for Life is Strange 2. I mean, January was good for Life is Strange.
Yeah.
It really was. It was a good month for Life is Strange.
Yeah, totally.
Because we had three things out. We had 2 comic books and we had one episode.
Yeah. I don't know why though. I'm almost having like a slight suspicion, and that's just me. I don't think it's true. I don't know if it's true or not, but I have a slight suspicion that they did it because of Kingdom Hearts coming out, and that's kind of, I don't know. I think they wanted it to be a Square Enix month, as I say. Ultimately, because also like Kingdom Hearts 3 at least came out to America. I think I think the 29th, if I'm correct.
Oh, January?
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to get like a money grab, really, as much as they can. I don't know. Even still, though. But yeah, I'm just hoping they're not rushing in too much for the comics. That's why I'm fearing if this is the last issue. I'm almost kind of hoping that it's going to be a bit of an ongoing series, at least a little bit longer. I don't know if it's gonna be full on ongoing, you know, like 100 issues, you know, like I don't think that, but like maybe like 15, 20 issues stop probably. I'd be okay with, you know, before ending the series off.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that too.
My phone is ringing. Sorry.
I mean, I would be okay with them going ahead and doing other comics of other characters, like um, do a comic of Before the Storm,
That actually.
or do a game. Do a game of Before the Storm Part 2, or Before the Storm 2, where it shows Chloe and Rachel in the 3 years that, you know, we didn't see anything, because we still have we still have questions about those 3 years, you know. And like that little place in the junkyard, that, you know, that brick place.
Oh yeah, then they decorated and everything
Where
like that.
you know, Rachel was here, Chloe was here, you know.
Yeah.
How did they find it?
Well,
How did she find it?
well, they already had found it already. It's just the fact that I'm curious what they did.
Yeah.
Oh, God forbid, Chloe. Can you check my YouTube? Apparently, something's going on with the chat thing. Apparently, with PlayStation, because it is not working.
Okay, hold on.
I'm sorry,
I'll be right back.
because my friend just texted me about it. No, it's been doing this for like a long time now. I don't know why. It's happening with my friends too. So I don't know why. I think it's just the PlayStation like network itself probably having issues.
You know, like, I don't think that.
Oh God, Jesus! Hearing playback. Oh God,
15,
no.
20 issues stop would probably I'd be okay with.
You don't have to play the stream.
Hey there.
You can mute it. You can mute the video, by the way. You could, Chloe. Chloe. You can mute the thing, by the way. Oh snap! I just remembered.
Oh
That-
yeah, then they decorated and everything like that.
I just remembered you can't hear me with the play thing. God darn it. Oof.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That you can't hear me when you're like inputting.
Yeah.
Snap! I forgot. All right, it's fine.
Oh, it's fine.
I was like, why is it do? Why is it echo? Oh wait, that's why you can't hear me. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know why it's acting so funky. I have to look at maybe in settings soon, see if like they updated something and I just never noticed.
Yeah, because it's happening to me too with my streams.
Yeah. God. No, but I feel like they could. What's wrong, Dan? Anyway, but I actually would like to see a kind of like comic in between time during Before the Storm and Life is Strange, the first one at least. That 3-year time. I would like it. I feel like that'd be a nice
Yeah,
contract rather
they
than a game, if they're not going to do the game.
Yeah. I mean, either or, you know, they can either go ahead and make the game, or they can go ahead and make a comic book, you know. That would satisfy us.
I wouldn't
If they
mind
did
that.
it either way. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think we probably should be moving on to talking about episode 2, considering you're already like over a half hour in. But yeah, overall, I'll say so far with the comics, I think they're doing good. My worry is that they're just gonna push if the fourth issue is the last one, they're gonna like push to the end way too fast for like at least my comfort. So Yeah, that's all I really have to say. So hopefully they're just careful. If they are gonna end it, they have to be careful with that. If they are gonna continue it, then I think they might be okay. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my final
Anyway, on
thoughts.
to episode 2 of Life is Strange 2.
Woo. Oh, Christ.
And I'm guessing the question that you would have me ask is, what did you think of it?
Of course. Well, that's obviously gonna be the question, because that's ultimately your thought of the whole game, or at least episode.
Yeah, just a warning, guys. Major spoilers for the episode. If you do not want to hear spoilers, best to go ahead and watch Fussy Kitten video, or Monster Truck video, or
Any video
some
other
other
than
video,
this?
because we're going to be
I don't
talking
know.
about the whole episode here.
Yes.
Okay, you have about 3 seconds to turn away. 3, 2,
25, 40, 45, 30, 35, 40, 45. Sorry. Anyway.
Okay, anyway, starting
Coco, what are you
with
doing?
the beginning.
She said on my foot. Wonderful.
Sean
your legs
and
are
Daniel
bony!
go ahead and find.
Sorry.
Sean and Daniel find. Well, actually, Sean and Daniel
Sorry.
are near a lake or like a river, a little river. And Daniel slipped on rocks, learned how to lift, heavier things now. And they now have a house, a little house that someone abandoned a long time ago. And I like the interactions with Daniel and Sean when they go ahead and play that dice game, even though I lost I don't know how many times.
I won when I first played it.
Yeah, like you.
Though he did cheat a bit, but
then-
I was like, eh.
And then morning came, and then I saw Mushroom, and Mushroom wanted to go outside pee. So I went ahead and I let Mushroom know. And I was thinking, okay, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. Mushroom's going to just pee, and that's good. Then Daniel went looking for Mushroom. I went outside as well. I was going ahead and looking for Mushroom, and I was going all over the place, and I didn't know that the second episode would be so fucking callous and cruel as to go ahead and kill Mushroom in that way. Having a mountain lion go ahead and just kill Mushroom. And,
Yeah. Sorry.
it's like Daniel wanted to kill it, but I was like, nope.
Nah, fam. Not today,
And
fam.
so, Mushroom was carried off to be eaten. So, yeah, we walked and walked and walked, and we got to our grandparents' house. And the Reynolds, well, the Mrs. Reynolds, actually turns out to be the woman that goes to the Eckerson's house and the Adventures of Captain Spirit. So, that's something. Which we didn't know. We didn't know that Mrs. Reynolds, the one that went into knocked on the door for Chris. Didn't know at first that she was Sean's grandmother.
Red mama.
But yeah, it was pretty nice. The house was pretty nice. It was. And Daniel did some powers, and I had to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
then the Chris thing. We finally get a continuation from the end of Captain Spirit, where Daniel saves him, and it's like
Jesus, cat.
remember the rules. No showing of your powers. Don't draw suspicion. And run. If there's like police or anyone suspicious, just run.
Jesus, cat, stop being in pain.
So
Swat him hard, Baxter.
we finally meet Chris, and we finally meet Chris's father again. And we all get to go to the Christmas tree place to pick up the Christmas tree. There's this girl named Cassidy who talks to Sean. Sean talks to her. They get harassed by this one guy while they're leaving, which I would say there's a lot more decision making in episode 2 than there was in episode 1.
Oh God, there is.
I think I counted around 4 or 5 decisions.
I think
it was 4 decisions. Because it's like the screen goes ahead and kind of cuts in half, and then the 2 choices are there.
I think maybe 5 or 6 actually.
That happened. Yeah,
Which is a lot for a normal episode, I think, even in general.
Yeah, because I think episode 1 only had like 1 or 2.
I think only like 2 or 3 tops, I think. Which I think that's normal for like I think a Life is Strange game in general. Is usually you get that many, but like second episode was just like hammering and all of them. I'm like, wow, it's only second episode. Calm down.
Yeah, you're supposed to be for the 4th episode or the 3rd.
Yeah, 4th or 3rd. Jesus.
Okay. Well, after picking up the tree and everything, going back home, talking to Chris's father about trying to get some help, which was kind of I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of unsettled. I was kind of a little scared.
You're worried that he's gonna come at you. Yeah, I was scared too. Like, I didn't even do that, but I was scared for you. I'm like, oh God, is he about to like hammer you down right now?
I mean, I wasn't scared about Sean. I mean, I know Sean can go ahead and take care of himself.
I was just worried
but
that
I was scared for Chris.
Yeah, it's like, oh guys, Chris gonna get murdered.
Because he was talking about Chris. And if you know anything about alcoholics,
yeah.
I mean, there's
Sadly,
some that don't give a fuck, but there's others that are fathers that will do what Chris's father did to Chris, which is hurt him.
Yeah.
And if someone were to go ahead and say, well, I talked to Chris and everything, and he told me how you've been hurting him, and if a complete stranger says that to, then you don't know what's going to take place behind the,
doors.
Those doors. Don't know whether that father is, violent or not. For, people going ahead and getting into his business. Because just look at, the grandmother. Mrs. Reynolds, when she knocked on the door in Avengers Captain Spirit, he was all like, oh, what's this nosy bitch want,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm thinking that's the alcohol talking.
Definitely, I think so.
But then again, it might have been him. So, yeah.
Okay.
But my ending that I got during the first gameplay, mind you, during the first episode, the second episode, last part of it, I completely fucked up.
I don't know where you went wrong.
And Chris is probably going to the hospital. Or Chris is going to a morgue. Because there was a sequence of decisions I had to make. I didn't make any of them right. And when the police car spotted us and drove towards us, Chris got in front of the car and held his hand up like he had powers. And the car hit him. And this was after I went ahead and told Daniel to stop lying to Chris. But he continued to lie to Chris.
Jesus. God.
But don't worry, Carolyn got the great ending.
Shut up! Don't think of me that sarcasm. God, it's not my fault.
Oh my God, Carolyn got the awesome ending, and when I went ahead and tried to say, Carolyn,
Look, it was my first run. I didn't know what was gonna happen. When I went to the first run, I didn't know that any of that was gonna happen. I didn't know whether or not he was gonna even be hit by a police car or not. I didn't even know what. So you can't blame me.
Yes, I can. I can try.
I probably should describe what ending I got, considering. Huh.
Yeah.
So pretty much with my ending, I got. Tell him how good you are. Anyway.
Tell him, all right.
So pretty much what happened was, they ran out, they went in the back, and they went through Chris's yard, and instead of the most of the endings, at least the two endings where either he gets hit by the car or doesn't, but gets saved by Daniel. This one I got, you walk out and he's actually on the swing set. And they run out and Chris is like, oh, where are you guys going? You look like you guys in a rush and everything. And obviously they sadly had to tell him that they had to go. They had to leave, they had to run away. And so, Chris is, disappointed and sad, but, trying to be understanding about it. So he pretty much shows him, this, secret-y area. But before, they go, Chris gives, Daniel, his cape, the Captain Spirit cape. And right when they head to the woods, Chris goes up onto the, tree house, and he does the, hero symbol they do before they leave. And I'm like, that broke my little heart, though. At least in, the nice sense. With your ending, that broke my heart in the bad sense.
Yeah, it broke my heart, too. And it broke Chris's bones.
Jesus.
And now the father's going to see this and be distraught.
Oh. Wonder. The thing is, I haven't even played my gameplay for the stream, so we'll see what I get as an ending, hopefully. Here's the thing, I have no clue how you got that ending, though. It's still mind-boggling to me, because you've done, pretty much everything I had done. I don't know if it's, completely random, or, there was something you missed.
Can I ask you a question? Ask. Okay. When Sean wakes up the next morning and sees the doodle that Daniel's going over to Chris's house. Mm-hmm. And Sean goes over to Chris's house, and he sees Daniel going ahead and levitating the toys while Chris is holding out his hand. Mm-hmm. and then they both see him, and then Daniel's hand falls.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about how Chris is like, "Oh wow, I have superpowers." There is
You don't think...
there is a decision there that
I
says
said
that's
irresponsible.
cool, and I said
Oh
that was
my-
cool.
Oh my
So
god,
that
that's
might
it. There
be-
has to be. There's no other option. And that wolf, the little wolf that says that affects Daniel, that went off. Oh my god, I didn't realize that. Oh,
Wait a minute.
is it that
So-
small of a detail? That detail right there could have been
Yeah.
the cause of Chris possibly going to the hospital and dying or something. Oh my god.
So
Oh my.
So if you went ahead and said that was cool, at the Christmas place, when you tell Daniel not
At
to,
his house,
to stop lying to Chris,
He wouldn't
it does
believe him.
nothing. Because
he
Chris
wouldn't
is
make-
going to continue lying, or Daniel's going to continue lying to Chris. Causing Chris, at the very end, to go out and try to use his power, only to get hit by the car. Okay.
Okay, and there's also one more thing too I want to add. If I didn't know, I would have said for you to use your powers to save Mr. Reynolds. You know, Steven, to like out from under the cabinet thing,
Yeah.
because when you do that, I believe if I'm correct, that like kind of like almost redeems it pretty much, and Daniel would have saved Chris using his powers, but the problem is obviously Chris finds out that he was lying about it, even though I told him to tell the truth. But anyway, the point is though, like that one little wow, that's.
So what happened? What happened when Daniel uses power in front of Mr. and Mrs. Reynolds? Did Mrs. Reynolds freak out?
She kind of like yeah, she kind of freaks out, but not like ultimately. Like she's like, what? How are you able to? But then like, Mr. Reynolds like, calm down, you know, like everything's fine, you know. I'm alive. He saved me and everything, and pretty much he kind of calms down, you know, being like, oh, thank God, you know, like, you know, like I knew God, you know, was watching over us or something like line like that. So it was like, she doesn't ultimately lose her mind, but she does definitely kind of like gets, you know, surprised a bit.
Okay.
So I'll say that.
I was trying to go ahead and do my best to, you know, tiptoe around different things, you know. I mean, with Chris and Daniel, you know, I didn't think of the ramifications, you know. I just thought I wanted to be careful. I wanted them to have fun, but I wanted Daniel to go ahead and tell the truth before, you know,
I just
it got
remembered
bad.
something. Remember when you did do the irresponsible and like that's cool thing? I remember me specifically saying, "Oh, it doesn't affect anything. It's fine." How wrong was I? The much wrong.
Yeah.
I say that without realizing, like, you know, maybe I should have looked up more about what things do what. In this case. Because, obviously, that made a big impact somehow.
And I didn't bury Mushroom.
Because the mean old mountain
I
lion
didn't
took
really
it
know
away.
how to, anyway.
Well, I'm assuming, and I don't know if anyone picked it yet or not. I think probably a couple people did, but like if you attack the mountain lion, I think you probably do keep the body. So, we'll keep quote-unquote bury it.
That's right.
Since it took it away?
Because if Daniel kills the mountain lion, he'll get the berry mushroom.
I still don't know what happens if you did do that. I don't know if it's gonna relate to that episode or the next episode. You know, him doing, I don't know. I guess maybe he's using his powers irresponsibly. You know, maybe, but I don't know. That it makes me wonder. I need to look a lot of like options up, like what happens when you choose certain options, what outcomes come from it. But
yeah,
that's what I like about this game.
Did you prank the guy? Did you prank the guy who was going ahead and hassling Cassidy and the other guy?
I was not gonna touch upon that. I was like, we're not doing that. Nope. No. Try to stay away from that route.
I actually wanna know what happens
I don't.
because
I'm sure
I'm
someone has done
actually
it.
thinking. I'm actually thinking that Daniel would use
Powers.
his powers then.
To mess with them or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I am gonna play it like soon, obviously, and that I'm gonna let the fans do a lot of decisions. Considering I already played it myself. That's why I always play it myself first. So I can get a chance for people to choose to see what happens. So I feel like that's gonna be interesting to see what people choose and what they decide and what outcomes I haven't seen yet. So, but dang.
Okay, so what did you think of the episode?
I really liked the episode. I found it very interesting. I thought and we haven't even touched upon this, and I'm surprised you haven't mentioned this yet. But the whole Sean and Daniel's mom thing, I found very interesting. Going more in depth of learning who she is as a person and her personality, and knowing that she is still out there. Kind of like concerned about her kids, obviously. Even though she left them, I don't know why, and I don't know if we're gonna learn anytime soon. Probably that's gonna be more like I can see around like 4th episode. We can probably see her.
Yeah.
At least actually see her, in person. But like I feel like 3rd episode is gonna be like the peak moment where we find out like more, about her. But
Yeah.
I noticed something a lot, and like when snooping around in the room, obviously, and looking at a lot of the details, I like kind of like was thinking about it, and it's like there are like Christine, I think is the mom's name if I'm correct. I think. I don't know. She's a lot like Sarah, like Rachel's mom, but like instead of like running away like as her way of like leave like traveling and doing other things, rather than like Sarah who went to drugs as her escape, kind of similar in ways. The family obviously is like doesn't like them. Daniel being like Rachel wanting to find her and wanting to see her and everything, and and of course Sean being like we're not doing that. It's just there's a lot of things that kind of like relate to that, and I kind of see that, and I find that very interesting that they kind of made it like that. I don't know if they purposely did it or not, like based off of like a little bit off of like Rachel's mom and things like that, but like going in more in depth of what could possibly be. But I just found it interesting.
I too want to go ahead and actually see Sean and Daniel's mother and find out
Why she left
their father in the first place.
Is there darker secrets than we know? Like, it's just I do have a tiny theory, and I've heard this around before, and I don't know if this is true or whether or not, but bear with me. I'm having a feeling somehow, some way, I feel like she ran away herself because she had powers. I know that sounds weird, I know that sounds silly and ridiculous, but that's just my theory upon it, of why she left, because obviously she wanted to leave and wanted to escape anyway, but I feel like it's just no way there's just that. It can't just be like, oh, I wanted to leave, I can't handle, like she had 2 kids. Obviously she wanted kids. There has to be like something missing there, something that's like
But think about it.
Big detail. I'm gonna check.
But think about it. There's a lot of broken marriages out there. I mean, people
that is
who
true.
are together that have kids, the significant other might grow bored, might grow, distant, and they need an escape. They need, that spark that, family life just isn't giving them. So you'll see in some, I would say about, not all, but most now in America, you'll see these women or men kind of falling out of the family life, getting divorces or having affairs, cheating on their significant others, because they're bored. They're just bored of this life that they have. And I think that that in some point is Christine, because you when you go to the room, it's like she had a book on traveling, and she had a pen pal, she had all these things, pictures, and it might be that she was getting tired of him, they were, meshing together, and she wanted to find an out. She wanted to find an escape, so she did. She just left.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my, that's what I gathered from what the game gave me to go by, was that she wasn't running away because she had powers. She was running away because she was bored. She wanted a new, a spark. And sadly, that's basically America now.
That's stuff that you have to leave your kids behind, though.
American couples are getting bored and leaving. They're leaving their kids behind, You see it everywhere.
I mean,
so, yeah.
I will give you credit. That is, very true. And I find it a little interesting, too. I feel like another reason is that maybe, Sean and Daniel's dad is not as, Esteban, sorry. Yeah, I forgot his name for a second, I remember. Is not as the cheery great man as he always seems to be. Considering I remember when Mrs. Reynolds, oh, he was a good guy, it's just we didn't really mesh well together, the family. And it's I wonder, I don't know, I can see him seeing, yeah, more than just her getting bored. I can see him having, different kind of issues that way, but, not knowing it. And, of course, Sean probably, and the thing is, this is, I feel the sad part, I feel in all this, is that, yeah, maybe she did want to escape, maybe she was just tired and got bored, and maybe there was, some issues, clashing, But the problem is, when you're a kid, seeing all this happen, you don't understand why, or how, why your mom left, why did she leave, And you kind of get bitter towards it, because it's maybe how, Esteban said it was probably, probably the worst way. Maybe. And not, and of course, not really able to understand, what happened ultimately, and you weren't old enough to ask the question of, what really happened, why. Not just, hearing from someone else's words, And I feel that's why Sean hates her a lot, and why Daniel kind of wants to see her, because he was, probably, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2, maybe when she left, probably, I would only guess. Maybe 3 tops. So he was too young to, really know even her at all. So it's it's just kind of dark fact about life. So, but would your animals stop being annoying for once? But yeah, but I really liked this episode, though. It was a good episode. It definitely had a lot of good, moments and things that I really liked a lot. Obviously they're gone, but it was just funny. I just wanted to mention that. Just thought I would mention. The ones I had, at least, they were funny though. Though I found out one of them I wasn't the only one who experienced with. So continue. Yeah, sorry.
What do you think is going to happen in the third one?
I know we're gonna meet up with Cassidy and the other guy. Again, I forgot his name. But obviously, again, because of the ending. Because obviously the ending, they show, going around or whatever. Look, I don't know where they're at though. Honestly, it looked kind of odd. There's some field, something like that. I don't know, the greenhouse.
No. It looked to me like kind of a granary. Kind of like a granary house.
Maybe.
For different plants.
Why would they be there though? That's so odd. I guess we have to find out.
I'm thinking. Oh, wait. Hold on. Remember when Cassidy said that she was going to go ahead and go to California?
Well, obviously they were there.
Because she was going. Huh?
I said that I was obviously there in California. I said yeah. In the next episode of it.
She said she was going to California, and then Sean went ahead and made a joke about, smoking weed. And she was like, no, because I'm looking for a job. Or because she got a job there.
Oh, I'm
wondering if that place
is where she works.
Is the job she mentioned. And that she's been there for a little bit. Before Sean and Daniel come in. And she says, let me show you around, because she's been there for a little while, and she knows what she has to do, and she's employed there, so she's going to go ahead and show them everything, where different stuff is and everything like that. And we may actually get to go ahead and help out as well.
Yeah.
But other things that might happen, this is a far stretch, but hopefully we might be able to see Brody again.
Yeah, I'd love to see Brody.
Either a phone call or a stop visit, Because he's all over the road, so he might stop in California, and see them.
Yeah.
But another thing that might happen is that the police might start searching more, and the California police might be tipped off about Sean and Daniel. So security might be a little bit more beefed up there.
Why would California be more beefed up? That's really odd.
Well, I'm thinking that we're gonna have an encounter with the police.
Well, of course, that I can see.
One point, but we'll escape. We'll have an encounter with the police, but we'll escape. And then go further down. But that's that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know what could happen in the third episode. I mean, that's the thing. There could be a lot that can happen. Like, I wouldn't not doubt in my mind that, the police will capture them for at least a bit of time and they'll escape, I would really hope to see Brody, because my god, he is amazing. Also, that's the thing. That's what I wanted to mention. I remembered recently. And my dad made a good point about this, because I kept complaining about it, and my dad's like, no, you're wrong. But the longest time, remember how we thought, Brody could be, Nathan's brother or something like that? I think we said at one point.
Well, I said that I said that Brody could be part of the family.
Oh, well, you never said brother. Well, I've heard other people say
part of the family in some facet.
Well, then I heard someone say that before. Well, the point is, no, I will say you're probably right. I was gonna say more uncle. Anyway. So, there we go. I wanted to finish that off with that. That's all I wanted to say, that's all.
So who do you think Cassidy might be?
A Cliter Price ripoff? Just kidding. I'm
Hey,
sorry,
no one
I
can
had
rip
to.
me off better than me.
I'm sorry, I had to. Hopefully not, though. I'm saying that jokingly. Hopefully that's not actually what's gonna come out of all this. No, I feel like Cassidy. I'm worried that she's gonna become a love interest character, because Sean shouldn't be focusing of anything like that right now. He should be more focused of taking care of his brother. And this is not like Life is
Yeah.
Strange 1 where it's like, where that it can be accepted, where it's like about like a bonding of a friendship, but it could become more, Like this is about brotherhood, which I don't
Yeah.
think you want a relationship to go between that or ruin that. So I'm just hoping she could be like an acquaintance, a
because
friend,
it was the first time meeting. Yeah, Sean and Cassie only met like what once, and
Yeah.
now they're meeting again. I mean, it takes a lot more time to go ahead and learn about a person, be friends with them before, gauging if they're interested in you.
We'll tell that to
You
Chloe
just
apparently.
don't know.
Tell that to class Chloe then. That's Rachel.
I mean, with Chloe, dang it.
I have to do it.
Yeah,
I had to.
true. Yeah, I know, you had to.
I'm just making a point.
Yes, I know.
Anyway, back to the point. You have a point though,
Back
yes?
to the point. I just don't see it happening. I mean, it might happen, and don't know it's crazy way about trying to put in relationships, but
The weird way
I
of shipping.
don't see it working because it's like they're on the run, they're moving from place to place, even though she's moving from place to place. I mean, would it work? Would have, dueling interests? What's going to happen? I mean, we don't know this.
I don't know.
But
Yeah.
if they do this, then I don't know how they're going to do it. But I just hope that it gives you an option to the option, like be in a relationship or be just friends. Because I'm
Something more.
guessing many people might go ahead and go with the friend route.
Honestly, I can see. You know what? I can see that being an option. I can see whether or not you want to like try doing a relationship or not with her. And I feel like being one of that big decision. And honestly, with me, I would say friendship. And I know that sounds weird. I know I've done multiple times trying to ship, Max and Chloe or Chloe and Rachel together and everything. But it's like, that's a different. And I feel like it's just Sean has so much more to focus on than a relationship. I feel like that's just not a thing he should do. I feel like that's wrong to do that. And considering that you're also putting someone else in danger too.
Yeah.
That don't need to be.
And it's like two brothers, Life is Strange 2 is all about brotherhood. It's all about, being there for your brother, the bond, the experience of just being with a family member, And I think he has Daniel to worry about more than a fling that might, pass. I mean, here's another thing I think might happen that might be a little bit more, how do I say it? That might actually happen.
Acceptable.
Okay. Acceptable. Is that Sean and Daniel go ahead and get off the train, and through, some walking, they go ahead and get to this green, this green nursery, building, or, the place where all the plants are. And they find Cassidy. And Cassidy's like, wow, what are you two doing here, far away from your grandparents' place? And they say that they're just, going along, just taking a trip. Probably making a lie or something.
I'm assuming, yeah.
But I'm thinking that Sean and Cassidy are probably going to have a little fling. They're not going to have a romance. They're going to have a little thing together. and that'll be about it.
One night stand. Sorry.
One night stand.
I'm sorry. You know, I could also people getting triggered off by that though, which really makes me a little annoyed because it's like, oh, he's like 16. Oh, being like that, and it's like, oh, okay, fine. It's not like teenagers never do that. Oh wait. Oh no, wait. I just thought of something. If they do have like something, remember the condiments in the bag? Oh no! Oh no!
Everything Sean and Cassidy are going
Oh
on.
no! God damn it! I'm hoping that's an option to do, cause it's like I just imagine. So you want to do something? Oh sure. Hold on, I need to go to the store real quick. Why? Just like comes back. Okay, I'm prepared. Oof.
But if Don't Nod does that, I'm kind of thinking that it's going to be implied strong. Well, not strongly, but it's going to be a little bit like implied. I mean, if they do it, which I'm certain they're not going to do it because
No,
I
cause
think I read somewhere on the internet about Life is Strange Before the Storm.
I think that was debunked.
Cut content.
Mm.
And one of the cut contents was in Rachel's room.
I still think that
Now,
was debunked. I
Let me
think that
kinda-
thing.
Let me kind
Just let me say that. I mean, there's no proof whether or not it was or wasn't going to be a thing, obviously, but I believe that was debunked. That was going to be a thing, but I don't know.
Oh, really? I mean, no one knows if that part was debunked or not. But okay, let me kind of set the scene. It was supposed to be after. I don't want to set the scene that way.
Shut up.
Okay. It was after the fight with Rachel. And after the father tells her the truth about her mother, and she's in her room, and Chloe goes into the room with her, and they talk about going ahead and finding information about where Rachel's mom is and everything. Okay, supposedly, I don't know if this is officially debunked or not. If it's officially debunked, then yeah, this is false. But if it isn't, then Chloe and Rachel were going to have sex. It wasn't going to be. It was going to fade to black, and then it was going to be in the morning, and Chloe would get up in Rachel's room, and we would be able to go ahead and get dressed in Rachel's room. But yeah, whether that was debunked or not, I don't know. But I don't see Don't Nod doing that with Life is Strange 2.
Honestly, nah.
Because they didn't do it before the storm. Why would they do this? I mean, I'm thinking it's just gonna be, aw, you're cute, I don't exactly know the age of Cassidy. I think Cassidy's a little bit older, kind of like 18 or 19.
I was gonna say that, yeah, like 18, 19.
Because the way she looks, the way she dresses, and
Yeah,
everything.
she's very, like, more, like, older looking, kind of, like,
Yeah.
mature-ish look.
Yeah.
However, I know a lot of kids
But
in my
it's
school who are, like 15 and have that look, so I don't know. But still.
But yeah, I don't see any action going on in the third episode. It's just going to be, kind of a kiss on the cheek, at most, or a handshake or a hug. It's going to go to that. It's going to...
It's not gonna go to 0 to 100,
Because I'm guessing in some way Sean still has a thing for the other girl. I forgot her name.
Lila? That's
The one that
depressing,
was
you
at
forgot.
Seattle school.
Lila,
Yeah, I forgot her name.
Lila.
Lila.
Poor Lila.
Hold on, Lila. Was she the one that he had the hots for and?
No.
asked-
Oh no, never mind. I forgot her name.
Kinda like,
Not Lila. No, never mind. Never mind. I was wrong. That's Lila, her best friend. The best friend.
not like
So what was her name?
Lila's best friend and
I don't know.
in the first episode, she said that she was going to be at the party.
Wonder what happened
And
at the
Sean was
party.
like, really? Yeah, Sean was interested in this girl, and well, I forgot her name.
I
Forgot her name.
honestly, I'm
But
not gonna look it
anyway,
up.
Um,
I'm too lazy.
that's what I think. What do you think for the third episode? What's going to happen?
I don't know. Honestly, I kind of need more because it's like anything can happen at this point. That's the thing. We only know that we're gonna meet up with Cassie. We know that we're gonna be somewhere, in California. I don't know where specifically, but like somewhere. But that's not enough to really go off of. Like, you can make so many weird speculations and things that can happen, but like ultimately, you don't know. So I'll just leave it at this. I'll just say, I think it might be. I think it's going to be a good episode still. I think there's going to be a lot to it. I feel like there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff that's going to probably go down at some point. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, and one more thing.
Mhm.
Judging by the release dates of Life is Strange 2 Episode 1 to Life is Strange 2 Episode 2, I would guesstimate, or I would put a guess,
And an estimate.
I would put a guess at Episode 3 releasing in, it's February now, February, March, May of 2019. Because, think about it. Episode 1 released in September. Episode 2 released in January.
5 months. Yeah.
That's 4 months. If they're going to be releasing part 3, it's going to be in May.
Okay, I see that. However, there was a thing I read a while ago, before this game came out, before episode 2, I mean, and it was talking about, like, what goes into it and everything, like, what they're, doing. And one of the things, they actually made an interesting comment. They're saying that, that there were already, even before this came out, I think it was actually, a couple weeks before, maybe it might be a month, who knows, before this came out, the episode 2, they were saying how they're already, like, starting episode 3 and preparing for episode 4. So I'm having a feeling it might be, like, late April, I can see it coming out, the third episode.
Yeah.
At least that's what I hope.
If so, then if it comes out in April and they're going forward with episode 4, then episode 4 might release 2 or 3 months after episode 3.
That's what I'm speculating a tiny
like
bit.
May, June, maybe July,
Yeah, and then I could
and then
see
the fifth episode
it more like
releases
October.
more like October
Yeah, like
of
that.
2019.
And
So
be like over a year before the whole game came out. But yeah, I can see it being like that though. But that's just me.
yeah,
It can be way longer. It can go to like December, the
I
last
mean,
episode. But I don't think.
look at how long it took them to go ahead and piece together everything from episode 2.
I see why
It
though.
took them quite a while to get the level design, to get everything right, get all the dialogue, get all the, characters in line,
There's a lot, and the thing is, it was a very long episode too. So yeah,
it
I don't
was.
know. I mean, who knows? It could get longer. The episodes. A 5-hour episode. Oh
Yeah.
my god, jeez, actually, what if though?
But yeah,
So 5 hours realizes that you've wasted 5 hours of a game. Kidding. Like I wasted more than 5 hours on a game before. That's
anyway,
depressing.
that's it for me, mainly. I mean,
That's all I got too.
everything so far is good. I mean, we're just waiting for
Everything
we're
to come
waiting for the comics to come out. We're waiting for more episodes to come out.
out.
Hopefully at E3 in June. I don't know. E3 in
E3's
June
been doing
is
sucky.
going to be huh?
E3's been doing bad anyway. I'm not getting into that.
But E3 has given us some games to
No, of
look
course.
forward to. One of which is Naughty Dog's sequel
To Last of Us.
Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
That's coming out soon. Kojima Productions is probably going to be releasing more footage or gameplay this time of Death Stranding. The one thing that I am excited for more than anything in the world, that it's coming out in 2019, is Shenmue 3.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Finally, I have waited so long. I mean, I think it was, God, how long? I think 2002, 2003 when Shenmue 2 came out. And then that ending, where they just go ahead and say to be continued, but nothing came of it. And it was like years and years and years and years. And they were saying, oh, we have a Shenmue MMO coming out, where they scrapped that idea. Oh, we wanted to make Shenmue 3, but Sega wouldn't let us. Sega's barring us from going ahead and making Shenmue 3, this, that, and the other. And finally, I think it was in 2015. Because I remember Shenmue 3 being announced, and I remember Final Fantasy VII Remake being announced.
I think we probably should be wrapping up soon.
Final Fantasy... Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm just saying. You can finish your thought, but I was just saying.
Yeah, Anyway, Final Fantasy VII being an episodic... I mean, it's... it's what we wanted and what we didn't want. I mean, we wanted a we wanted a grand remaster of Final Fantasy VII, But being episodic, it's like everything gets condensed.
But like, you have to realize when it first came out, how many wasn't it like in more than one disc? If I'm correct, like wasn't it like 2 separate discs to play the whole game? It's like a long game, if
one,
I'm
two,
correct.
three, four. I think it was 4 discs.
Holy Jesus! I mean, I kind of understand why it's episodic. Yes, I know it can be condensed, but I understand kind of why it's episodic.
This was back in the PS1.
Well, it can hold like.
They could do that. They could actually do that on the PS1. Make all these discs, and then PS1 could read all of it because it was low polygon. It was polygon characters.
Not
It
do
was
that
easy.
today. I think it was PS4 would explode.
But anyway, that Shenmue 3.
I don't know.
What other there haven't been any more games that caught my eye except for that one samurai game that looked cool.
Yeah, I saw that one too, and I was like, huh. I forgot what it was called though.
I think Genji Day with the Blade.
I think that's what it was called. Yeah.
It was an open world samurai game that was shown at E3 that looked cool.
Mhm.
So that was one game. Okay,
I think that's about
But
it
yeah.
for me though.
yeah, that's about it for me as well.
Hmm. Anyway, I think we should probably end it off.
Yeah, guys, like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it.
Wow. All right.
Stay tuned for.
Take my intro. Why don't you? There go my intro.
I'm still in your outro.
I love how my outro is so short and sweet, though.
I know, right?
I'm just done with this. I was like, oh yeah. Anyway, Chloe said liked if you liked it, disliked if you disliked it, and subscribe to Chloe, and yeah, I think that's it. Until I don't know, next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.